Hi Gemini, welcome to your deep love read for mid-June. I hope you guys are doing great today. This is going to be for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Guys, if this doesn't resonate with you, if you're here for your Sun, definitely at least check your rising sign. Most months we are going to resonate with one of our either Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus more than in other months. So it's really good to check all of those. You don't want to make the messages fit if they don't, and the energy could always be vice versa. So I'm going to do this in two sections. First, I'm going to do a Celtic cross spread for your partner, the energy that you're dealing with. I'm going to pull an astral card and throw the astro dice as messages of advice for them, what they need to focus on. And then we're going to do the same thing for you. I'm going to sweep that, do the same for you, and pull some oracles at the end. So let's get right into it. All right, things your partner needs to focus on. They need to focus on you, Gemini. We got Gemini in the 11th house of friends, and we have the Sun. Oh, we got to see. So what does your partner need to do? They need to focus on where is their ego, for good or bad, getting in their way right now, having to do with your connection. They have that's something that they need to look at. They need to consider their 11th house. Okay, so they're being asked to cultivate some healthy emotional detachment about something within this relationship. They cannot continue to stay stuck in how something should play out, did play out, might play out, right? They need to really be able to focus on trying something new. Now, this does indicate an opportunity that's going to equate to a total like 180 in this relationship for them, because they're going to be doing it, right? They're going to be doing something that's going to be very different. They're being advised to do something very different, shake things up, do something differently, right? Because this is an Aquarius energy. And Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, so it's all about doing something different than what they've been doing, if that makes sense. And then we have you guys. So it's time for them to put on their thinking caps and really focus on learning something new about you, or learning a new way of approaching the relationship, learning how to do relationship differently, right? For some of you, this can even mean them having the realization that they actually need to contact you in the first place in mid-June. So guys, remember, the energies don't understand the difference between like June 1st and 3rd. Do you know what I mean? Like, they don't understand. It doesn't understand the difference. I mean, I think most of you know that, but it's worth mentioning that. So for some of you, this could be happening already, like, end of May, beginning of June. Some of you maybe not for a little bit out from that. So let's see what astro card comes out for them. Saturn. Okay. Yes. So I have to laugh a little bit, because they have to recognize that nothing comes in relationships. Healthy arguing is normal and necessary. If you don't address things, because you have a lot of people who are in relationships and they're like, I don't like that we fight. Well, hello, you have to fight. You have to have resolution, though, on the other side of that. There's nothing wrong with arguing. There's something wrong with arguing where if it's done unhealthily, right? That's different. Or if it's done without any resolution. But it's illogical to think that there's never going to be any discord when you're blending energies together, two souls. That's crazy, right? So the advice here is for them to recognize that it's gonna be work in order to make it work. In order for it to work, they're gonna need to understand the work that is necessary. That's gonna be necessary to make this move forward. They're gonna have to check their ego at the door. Think about how things are gonna be different moving forward. Really nice. I like it, because this is, to me, I'm seeing somebody who's got a willingness here, or at least this is the advice. So let's see what the cards tell us as to the reality of where they're at. And it's very natural when you're hearing the subjective read for you to be like, oh, hell no, that's not how it went. You know what I mean? But it's a subjective read. The Lovers. Okay. Queen of Swords. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, Gemini, I'm liking this. Yes. Oh, they're all caught up in their gigs there. But don't they think you're fabulous? They're scared of themselves. Holy cow. They're scared of their own emotions. They're scared of their own feelings. What it looks like they're doing, it's scared. Yes. I'm going to have t-shirts made with that saying. I've been saying it so much lately. All right, so in the recent past, coming into this Seven of Swords, them not being their authentic self. This is the card of thievery, right? But in relationships, I always look at it as like, it's a moon in Aquarius, right? Moon as I feel, Aquarius is different than what I'm showing you, right? So it's really not either living in their authentic truth or showing up as somebody other than they are. You know, this is the reality here. Now, this is how they perceive the relationship. Okay? So they might be viewing you like this. They might be viewing themselves like this. It really doesn't matter. The idea here is that there was authenticity lacking, that somebody was not being the truest version of themselves. Now, a lot of times that happens in relationships, and we can't beat ourselves up too much about it unless we allow this to be perpetuated for too long and the lies become very grandiose and damaging, right? You guys know what I'm talking about with that. But if you guys got into a connection and you were making yourself seem, or presenting yourself a certain way where in all actuality that wasn't you, and they realize that, or they realize that about themselves, sometimes all of that is created out of insecurity and vulnerability and just really wanting something to work. So I do feel like there's recognition, right? That's where they were at in the past. Their view of the relationship right now, we have the Lovers, and then we have the Queen of Crossing, we have the Queen of Swords. So we have some truth being served up. I really like this, very healthy, because the Lovers, besides the fact that it's you, this is the Gemini card, the Lovers energy acknowledges that something needs addressing, that the foundation has fissures in it, and that if you guys work together, but you have to decide to work together. The Lover's energy literally means making a decision. And the decision is, because this is a relationship read, it is, are we going to make this relationship work? And are we going to put in the necessary work that's required in order to level it up? But I want you guys to know, Archangel Raphael and the luminary of the sun is always blessing this energy in the upright. So it's committing yourself to understanding that it is going to be hard, and they're going to need to tell themselves that over and over again. Yeah, nobody ever said it was going to be easy, but the work is going to be in there. And the thing is this, we have this Virgo and Libra energy crossing it. Some truth pudding being served up right here, right? I mean, that's the Queens. It's not gender specific, guys, right? But this is a Virgo and Libra energy. Libra having to do with that serious, seventh house of relationships, right? And there being some real honesty here that needs to be discussed, because whenever we have swords, we have truth, we have communication. Virgo's ruled by Mercury, right? But what I like about getting Virgo, I can't speak today, is Virgo rules the sixth house, and the sixth house is our day-to-day, but it's also our health. And being ruled by Mercury, the combination of this always incites in my mind to be communication to a point of allowing the relationship to be healthier. You know what I mean? Even though some truths might be really hard to hear, okay? But nonetheless, they're hard truths that need to be looked at. But it's the end purpose is to make the relationship healthier in the day-to-day, in the pragmatics of it, right? So really focusing on that right now is what I feel like, Gem, your partner, whoever you're dealing with, that's where they're at right now. That's where they're at. Now, they're also going to be in a space of self-protection, though. As I feel like on one hand, they really know, and my eye was immediately drawn to the sun energy, which has to do with, when we throw that with ego, and I don't feel like it's malice. I feel like it's like they're scared of something, of you, of the connection, of letting themselves totally go, of looking at their ugly parts, of, allowing themselves to just be a better version of themselves, because change is not always easy. It's not. So, Four of Coins is the card of, there's this miserly energy about it, right? So, so when they think about this relationship, they kind of automatically go into self-protect mode. And also, though, I feel like they may be viewing you as doing the same thing, which is perfectly natural if you've gone through a challenging time, which having the Seven of Swords energy, I'm pretty sure that there was some sort of conversation that had to go on where it was like, things are not the way they were initially presented. What happened? I did not think that was going on. You're saying this was going on, but that was going on. You know what I mean? That kind of energy. So that's a scary energy to be trapped in, right? Because you don't really always know, like, what's the truth, what's not the truth. So a little self-protection is okay. We have the Five of Swords energy. I'm not mad at this. This is a necessary discussion that needs to go on about how are things going to, what happened, and how are things going to be handled differently in order for you guys to have a future together and for you to move forward differently, right? Because it's a Venus and Aquarius energy. So Venus obviously having to do with not only love, but also how do you feel in this relationship? How do they feel in this relationship? But, because it's coming from their perspective, they're recognizing that something needs to be different in order for there to be forward movement. So, and because it's a sword, the sword's energy, it has to be a truth that gets delivered through communication. So as a general influence, I feel like this energy is putting everything out on the table and saying, okay, what happened? What do we need to change here so that we could move forward in a healthier space so that we're not feeling this need to protect ourselves? And I feel like that's where they're at. Right now they're in the Eight of Swords. Yeah. But it's not a bad energy. It's a necessary one because they're figuring things out. It's Jupiter and Gemini. Now, this could be understood a couple of ways. This is a very internal energy, right? And Gemini, the swords here, the air energy here, is obviously about communication. So it's communication within self. And because Jupiter is in it, right? Jupiter is in Gemini. It's like Jupiter looking for, how am I going to bring myself luck and expansion? Like, I really need to figure out an honest path. I need to figure out the truth of this situation so that I could move forward with integrity, so that we could do that. Now, that's one understanding of them ruminating in their own mind about how it is that they could, what they need to do, what's necessary to happen here in order for this relationship to be successful. Now, Jupiter is also about luck and what? Expansion. Okay, so Jupiter expanding, right, in Gemini. So Gemini is about, you could feel two things at once. Gemini is also ruled by Mercury. So there can be this state of confliction within your partner right now as well, where they're ruminating between, what did you do? What did they do? Where does the blame belong? Oh, wait a minute, we shouldn't be blaming. That's not healthy. Oh, but wait a minute, I can't help it. Oh, but wait, what happened in reality? Oh, but wait, what did I project onto the situation? Do you know what I mean? So I'm getting that that's the space that they're in right now. They view you as the Knight of Coins. So again, this is not gender specific. This is a Leo and Virgo energy. So let's look at this a couple of ways. First of all, because Virgo is, Pisces and Virgo is ascending and descending from each other, I do feel like there is a little bit of confusion, and they're viewing you as somebody who, there's a little bit of confusion in communication. I do feel like that is coming to me, but there's a lot of passion here. This Leo energy, Leo's a fire energy. They're really very, very passionate about you. Really passionate. I like this energy though, because it indicates a moving forward in a very practical way, right? Because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and from an alchemical perspective, it transitions. So I see this as them viewing you as somebody who is willing to make the changes that need to be made, somebody who they feel very passionate about, somebody who they do feel very connected to, somebody who does know how to connect, because the Pentacle energy in relationship reads really is mostly about mental, physical, and emotional connection. And they view you as somebody who they're very, very connected to. Their fear here is the Moon, and I have to laugh a little bit because I almost feel this person who's very resistant to look deep, deep inside themselves. Yeah, because the moon is I feel, and it's what we think and feel in private. It's almost like they're afraid of that element within themselves, Gemini, because they're afraid of what they're going to find there. Because they might find their vulnerabilities, their fears, their old scars, their insecurities, and all of that, and their old default of possibly handling those things in an unhealthy way, whether it's cutting and running, or whether it's, being a little left of center in the relationship, whatever it is. And it's almost like they don't want to do that, and they're afraid of that part of themselves. So then we have Judgment, which is all about forgiveness. So this is great. This is great. This is transformation. This is Pluto. Judgment is a Pluto energy, which means, blowing out the unhealthy whatever it was for there to be a simultaneous new beginning, and it's happening through forgiveness. It's happening through forgiveness. So I really like this. And then being really honest with their role in this situation and knowing that at the time they did the best they knew how. And why do I think this is healthy? Because some of you might be saying, well, hello, no way, they did A, B, and C. They ghosted me, or, they betrayed me in this way, or whatever. All of that may very well be true, but this is their recognition in their attempt to grow and their attempt to recognize where they may sabotage themselves, is their recognition of their own weakness and their own poor judgment in the past, and recognizing that in that moment, whatever they decided to do, they did what they thought was the right thing in the moment, even though in retrospect it ended up being a really bad decision. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you. And then we have the Queen of Wands as the final outcome. Again, I do want to say gender, not specific, but Pisces and Aries energy, really nice. I mean, this is a beautiful, fiery, attracted, lots of motivation to move forward on a fresh path. I mean, they want a new beginning with you, Gemini. There's no question. They want a new beginning with you. Wow. They want a new beginning. This is so beautiful. I really like it. All right. As long as they don't get in their own way. Because it does seem like somebody had some sort of like, what have I been doing kind of thing, All right. So let's pull for you guys now, for Gemini. Cancer. Very nice. Cancer all about. What do I want to pick? Which one do I want? Let's do the Arcanum for you guys. Okay. Hey, you know what? I'm not feeling this deck. Nope. Sorry. It happens sometimes. What can I tell you? Okay. Let's do the Shadowscapes. Shadowscapes for our Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So we have Cancer. Cancer's about that fourth house, safety, home. Okay, and then we have, ooh, nice. We have Uranus, we have Scorpio. Wow, could we have more change, please? Sixth house in the day-to-day. Going to be big changes in your day-to-day work environment, your day-to-day environment. In the health of this relationship as well, there are going to be big changes in the health relationship. In the health aspect of this relationship. So I like this. So we have Scorpio here. So a crack is or has appeared or is about to appear in the foundation of this relationship. Now, having to do with you, though, you're going to be learning something new about yourself, right? And you're really being asked to remember how you've been in this relationship and just understand that whoever you were at any of those different stages of the relationship, you were the best that you knew how to be in that moment. And it's time to kind of radically truthful, right, into this evolution of something new. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, so it's all about newness and ending in a simultaneous new beginning. And it's recognizing where you maybe could show up a little differently and even in a healthier way, And then we have Uranus here, which I really like. I mean, this is all about the future, right? So this supports you breaking through any boundaries of self-imposed limitation, having to do with this relationship and building something brand new from the ground up. And it's going to be occurring to you, things that you can handle differently in a new way in this relationship. There's such a healthy vibe here I'm getting. I really like it. And then we have the 6th house here. So where and why do you feel pressured to make a decision right now? Like, really? Like, you're being asked to explore where some solitude and healthy sense of realism and really getting in touch. Kind of adopt that little bit of like a the crab sensibility, or more like maybe even a Virgo, like a hermit energy, where you're really in a space of thinking things through. But I like this. I get that it's very healthy. The advice here is to be very introspective right now about some new approaches that you can execute within this relationship in a way to incite safety for your partner, Gem, because I am feeling that I am being called to say that you were doing something that made your partner feel unsafe about being connected with you. So, and that could show up in a million ways, right? This is a general reading. Are you still connected to somebody from your past? Does your past keep resubmerging? Are you really sharp with your tongue and you're more insulting or whatever, even though you don't mean to? It's maybe just how your hurt ends up, showing up. However it is, but that's the advice there for you. Well. Okay, so coming into this energy, we have the 9 of Pentacles. So Venus and Virgo energy. Yeah. So I feel like you were in this space of, first of all, being really critical of the relationship. Being really critical. There's Venus and Virgo. Virgo's a very critical energy. It's beautiful energy. It's a great energy. It's ruled by Mercury, so there's communication here. It's an earthy energy and all of that. But because it's Venus in Virgo, that energy typically ends up being associated with being super critical of something in the relationship. So it could be you were really critical of your partner, you were really critical of yourself in the relationship, whatever it was. But I do feel like there was this wall that you didn't even realize you were putting up. You didn't even realize it, at all. And I feel like that's the energy like coming into this. Right now we have the Strength crossed by the King of Cups. So this is a Leo energy, doing it scared, knowing that you're going to really have to take a chance right now. But what I like about this, it's a fiery energy. I do get that there's a lot of attraction here. You may need your ego stroked a little bit, or you may need to stroke the other person's ego. And I am kind of feeling like that right now, only because we get the Cancer energy. So, and because it's your advice, so what I'm feeling here is you may have to help somebody feel secure with you and feel a little more comfortable about being involved with you. Now, this does also indicate a lot of attraction, so you don't want to end up in that situation. You guys all know what I'm about to say, like, where there's something really important you need to discuss in the relationship, but because the attraction is so high, you end up in bed. And that's not going to resonate with all of you. It's going to be for some of you. You know what I mean, right? Where you end up, instead of talking about that thing that might be a little uncomfortable, you end up in that space. So you want to be careful of that. But still really good nonetheless. Even if you have to, pat somebody's ego a little bit, it's worth it, right? This is a very positive energy for me. And then we have the King of Cups. So beautiful. I mean, come on now. Libra and Scorpio. King of Cups, it's beautiful, right? Libra is all about relationships. Scorpio is about transformation and deepening. So it's this deepening that is going to help you. But see, now there's a Scorpio energy too. Remember, Scorpio rules sex. That's what I'm just saying. A little something, something. Somebody had to hear that. So you want to make sure that you're having the conversations that you need to have in the relationship, and just not, not having sex instead of. I mean, have that, but then talk too, right? Address the things that need addressing. But that's the energy that you're in, that you're going to be in mid-June. And then we have the 9 of Wands as the crowning energy. So The Nine of Wands wands are will, and it's always about moving forward. So this is a moon in Sagittarius. The moon is I feel. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. It's about luck and expansion and moving forward with integrity. So feeling this very deep, just emotional vibe about that you've been through a lot, and that you don't want to defend yourself, and that you're just in a space of not wanting to play anymore. Any unhealthy energies are not welcome in your house anymore. And you're willing to give this a go, but you're not willing to entertain the unhealthy behavior, or what you view as unhealthy behavior. And there needs to be communication. You still have passion in you for this person, absolutely. But you want to make sure that any issues that have been present in this connection get addressed. Because honestly, you guys are the North Node right now. You're not having it. You're just not. And it's not because you're mean, and it's not because you don't care. It's not. It's because you're recognizing the unhealthy elements, and you just don't see the value in allowing that kind of thing to perpetuate in the relationship. Nice. We have the Nine of Cups. So I love this. Jupiter and Pisces. This person's your wish fulfillment, Jem. Wish fulfillment. That's the foundation. Well, you still have a lot of fire for you in your belly for them. But this is really about you recognizing where maybe they didn't show up. And the thing is, and this reading is such a good example of perception in relationship, right? Because you can show 3 different people the same thing and walk away with 3 different perceptions. So this is such a good example of it, because I am feeling like whoever you were connected to, they did feel unsafe regarding you having to do with something, whether it was the way you communicated with them, or whether it had something to do with somebody from your past, whatever it was because your advice is safety having to do with this relationship. So how can you make them feel safe? So in order for you to get that, there had to be something going on, even if you didn't realize that you were doing it, that made them feel unsafe. So their reaction to that is probably what you're viewing as shady behavior. You follow? And this is how these cycles begin, where you're like, well, you did this, and they're like, well, you did that, kind of thing, and that's so counterproductive, right? It's about recognizing where each of you are at. Now we have you right now as the King of Pentacles in this relationship. So, very connected. It's very, very connected, Aries and Taurus. Very willing, ready, and able, with bells and whistles on, to really give this another go on a fresh path, a new perspective. Because there's a lot of love here, right? It's Aries, which is that Mars fighter energy, like let's go, let's throw caution to the wind. And Taurus, while it's very practical, it's ruled by Venus. So there's a lot of love here in a very practical way. I do feel like that you have for this person. And they're the Knight of Cups. Dun, dun, dun. So, Jem, I don't know. Did they call you? I don't know. It's because the night energy is usually, not always, but usually the energy that comes in, right? But this is an Aquarius and Pisces energy. And what I love about this is Pisces has to do with what it is you're dreaming about having with this relationship. And Aquarius is about them, your partner, coming in and saying, you know what? I really want to do things differently this time. I really want, and I feel like it's coming from them, because this is the external energy. And them saying, I love you. I want to be in this. We need to do things differently. I'm ready to own my stuff. Let's talk about it. But don't for a minute think that they're not going to be waiting for you to say that you own your stuff as well, right? That is definitely what I'm getting here. Only, again, going back to that Cancer energy as well. So we have the fear position is the Nine of Wands. So, all right. So you might be afraid of a little in and out energy, right? Literally somebody who comes in and then leaves. You may be, right? Because it's Scorpio and Sagittarius. So Scorpio could be, you might be afraid. I don't know, Jem, I feel like there's a level of you that's a little insecure, having to do with I'm getting 2 things, and it might be both things for some of you, one thing for some of you, and only the other for others of you, but having to do with sex. So others of you, you're worried about their integrity. You're worried, are they going to be in and out kind of thing? Are they going to come in and promise you the world and then leave? Are they going to be true blue? That kind of thing. That's in your fear position. Your fear. But then we have as the outcome, we have the Seven of Wands energy, which I think is interesting. Because this is Mars and Leo energy. I actually think this is so healthy for you, because this is you drawing a line in the sand and you very clearly articulating what it is that you need in this relationship. Like what you want, need, and desire, and feeling open and honest and like the road clear to say it. And you wanting to hear from them as well. But one thing that you do know is you don't want to defend yourself anymore. You don't want to defend yourself at all. You're done with that. You're done with that, and you're actually really done hearing excuses. You don't want them to defend themselves anymore either. It's like, I view the Seven of Wands energy as a very, like let's focus on solution. Let's not focus on a problem. This is what I want, need, and desire. And if this is what you want, need, and desire, all right, let's sit down and figure out how we're going to make that happen. You know, like this is necessary in order for there to be the Temperance energy, right? But then we have the Page of Cups in the near future. So this is beautiful because the page does indicate a new cycle. Cups obviously it's beautiful. I mean, this is the earth of the water suit. So in a very practical way, you guys are going to be having a new beginning, a new cycle, a new sharing of energies. Really beautiful. So it looks good. It looks like you guys are going to be putting in the work. Necessary for change. Yeah. Good reading though. Good reading. Let's pull some oracles. Let's see what's going on in that oracle. I want to grab here. Soulmate. Yeah. Soulmate. You may not always understand why certain things happen. However, there was always a higher purpose to the events in your life. Through turmoil, a blessing will soon be revealed. Yeah, so if you guys were in a weird space, it wasn't for anything. It wasn't for nothing. Like, those layers needed to be gone through. Look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. Beautiful. Very nice. All right, so let's pull some love, and then just a couple of tarot. Religious factors. New love. Express your love. Yeah, so you guys may be having, you know, coming to terms with how you guys think relationship is supposed to be in your life, right? Your belief system. Who's supposed to do what? Who's supposed to contribute to what? Who's supposed to, you know, what is the communication supposed to be like? What is the the intimacy supposed to look like? All of that. And I do feel like you guys are just going to be sort of splicing it away and creating this new kind of love within this relationship. Is it's almost like, I mean, even though we didn't get a tower, I'm getting a very tower-like vibe. Where, you know, sometimes the tower doesn't mean the ripping down of the relationship, but it's more of a pulling down or falling apart of a belief system, so that a new one could be rebuilt if you're dealing with an energy who's willing to work with you. And then, yeah, and then we have express your love. So, you know, there needs to be the communication here is very necessary to happen. That's good old right away. We don't read these in reverse. Okay, Four of Swords. I like it. So look, I mean, there's still going to be a little bit of self-protection going on with this Four of Pentacle energy, but it's okay. You're going to have to work through it. But we have the Queen of Wands. Again, lots of passion here. No question. You guys are going to feel very passionate about starting this new path. And the Four of Swords is leaving the toxicity behind. Taking a minute right now and moving forward with not only with the good elements of the relationship, but with a clearer picture on where it is that you're going, right? Because this is Jupiter in Libra, which is great. Because remember, Libra is about fairness. Libra is ruled by Venus. Jupiter expands with it, whatever it's in. So this is a really benefic energy, and it's a leaving behind all the negative nonsense from the past. So I do like that. I do. Even though we have the Four of Pentacles, this is not a positive card, a negative card. It just kind of is, where you're in the space of self-protection. But there's nothing wrong with that while you're navigating the newness of trying to work something out in a healthier way, right? You have to be like that. Okay, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.